everybody, welcome to Carnation Crafts TV. I'm Laura, we have Bunny next door. This is our first show of the day and I am very excited because today we've got something a little bit different. We have got our 3D bauble. Now you can see some of the samples here on the tree, so you can see how decorative these will be when you make these up into your bauble. I'm going to spin this round so you can see there's a lot that you will get in there to build up your baubles. You do have the inside layer as well, but you could leave that out if you want to do them in your different papers, different cardstock. You could do it like that as well. Let's go to the board so you can see exactly what these will look like, because you do have different sizes in here as well, and you have different designs, which I think is absolutely lovely. Now you do get different vignettes for these as well. I'll show you some of the samples that the design team have done just to give you an example, but just to show you one, because I've got this one here ready to go. So you can see you've got that lovely poinsettia there, such intricate detail as well. So you can see you've got that one there. Now you do get two as well, so you can have them. You can do two at the same time, so you're not constantly die cutting the same one again and again. You've got the smaller one in two different designs as well, and then you've got that lovely snowflake, which will sit on the top, but equally you'll use that in your crafts as well, as I think you would these panels as well. You could cut that top bit off if you snip away. So the one I just showed you, if you snip away the bottom and you put a little bit of ribbon there and you just snip those sides in, you could use that as a bauble onto your cards as well. So it would look like a bauble just hanging onto your card. So you could use them like this as well. So you'd also use these in your card making, not just to make these 3D baubles. But I'm going to show you, I'm just going to jump straight in and show you how the design team have made these up, because they do look completely different once they're made up and you see them like this. So again, for your card making, they look amazing. And you know, I'm going a bit off topic here, but you know, when I see these ones like this stuck on the card, they made me think of eggs. Yeah, Fabergé egg, don't they? Bunny's just agreed with me, so it's not me on this one. But if you imagine putting those in different colorways and maybe pop in something else for there, I think you could use these for Easter as well, especially this one. Yeah, it's like that in white. You could 100% get away with that for a Fabergé egg. And there's different ways that you can put these together. So you can either glue the tops. So if you were maybe making them just solely to go on the tree, just for your decor reasons, you can glue these. But they do have like a little, well, I will show you, but they do, yeah, they have like a little stopper at the top so that they can fold flat so you can post them. So if you want to send these off to somebody, you can absolutely do that. Oh. There. Oh, this one's got tiny lights. Oh, I don't think they're coming. I think the batteries run out. But look, I'm going to hang this. Look. How amazing does that look? And you think of those craft Christmas collections that you've got already. You can bring in little accents, your stick-on gems, your glue dots, your foiling pen. You could go in and add in foiling onto these as well. This one's got vellum in the back of it, so you can see that all that intricate detail, but then there's vellum in the back. But then this one has been done exactly the same, but you can see now this one's just been squished down a little bit to change the shape, and that one doesn't have the vellum in. So you can see how the design on that, you can see how intricate it is. You could even use these as like little gift bags, because you could pop like little chocolates. You could fill that with like Ferrero Rochers or like lint balls or anything like that. You could pop in there, couldn't you? And then it kind of comes a gift and a decoration at the same time then. Pam's done this one, look at that. How adorable is that? you get the different sizes and the different colorways as well. So you could really decorate your whole tree with this because you'd have the different sizes and the different colorways as well. I am just going to say I apologise to the design team if I'm not saying who has made it, because some of them I've spotted where they've hidden the name, and then other ones I can't spot where the name is. Look at that. Look with the snowflake in the centre. How pretty is that? That's such a lovely way as well of using the bow from our Wondrous Tidings from last week. And then let's grab, oh, look at this one. I'm trying to spot names. I can't spot them. This one's actually got like a little stand on the bottom, which is so cute. So you could use them like this as decorative, or obviously have them hanging. Look at that. And this one I think is such a nice example showing you in gold. So instead of using the actual artwork, using gold and white to decorate that one. And then I'm going to show you this one because this is actually using 2 in 1, which I think is such a lovely idea. No, there's no name on this one. If any of the design team are watching and you have hidden the name somewhere, let us know so I can say who has made. Look at that. Bringing in little gems, look, where the detail is. Adding in those little accents on the top. How pretty is that? So that's using the 2 different ones. Yeah, absolutely. You know, you've got your heavyweight cardstock on there. You're going to keep these. There's another one here, look, using the small one and the larger one. So instead, that one's using the 2 small ones. This one's using the larger one with the small one. So you can see how different these look, because you do get the different colorways. You get the different artwork as well. So you're going to have one for so many different occasions. Oh, I've got one here by Pam. Look at that. That is so, so pretty, isn't it? Absolutely lovely. Oh, and Bunny's just told me 30% of the stock of these have gone already. So pretty. And then I've got one more, and I'm just going to show this one quick because this one is a card with the smaller bauble on the inside. So if you've got these, you can see how you can mix and match those in to your card making as well. Like the first one I showed you as well with the bauble on, I really think you could use them for Fabergé eggs. I think that's such a good idea. But absolutely, think of them as your panels as well onto your cards. There's so many different ways that you could mix and match these up, but for decorative elements like this, onto your cards just look absolutely amazing. I mean, look how pretty they look on that tree. And I love the one that you can see there on the top because that's been popped onto the tiny lights. Shall I see? Where's the... Oh, what's that? Right, ready? Can you see? Yeah. So you could even add them onto the string like that as well, which just looks so amazing. Just add it on. You could even use them like in your garlands and things like that around the house. And they just come together really easy as well. But don't forget as well to download your different colorways as well, because you have got, you can see there different colorways for each one. I'm just trying to see if I've got one, two, three, four. Is it 4 different colorways for each one? Because this one, so the one I'm doing now, the larger one, you've got that one there where you've got the coloured poinsettia in. I'm trying to see how many ones I've got here so we can show. Then you've got gold. in the same design. Then you've got the white one, and I think you've got white and gold as well. So that's the white, but I have put grey dots on there. So that's the white, and then right, that's that one. Then you've got like the purpley colour and the red. So you've got purple and gold. So it must be two of each. So I think I'm missing one. I'm missing the white and the gold. So you've got the purple colour and gold, the purple and gold on its own. And then you've got like the red colour, which I'm going to say you get in the red and in the red and gold. So then you'd get the two of each, if that makes sense. You've got the colour and then all in gold. You've got the purple and gold. You'd have the white and gold, and then you've got the red and gold and the red. So you get a lot of different ones. I'm sure I've seen that white and gold one. Maybe, did I use it? Oh, I don't know. But anyway, so you'll get two of each colourway. So you get white and gold. Yeah, so the white and gold one is that one. So you get the gold, just so you know. You get the purple and gold. You've got the colourway with the gold. Then you've got the red and gold as well. So you've got, I think that covers your different colourways, doesn't it? So right, so let's pop this one together. So you're going to start off with, you're going to cut out 6 of your panels for your baubles. So it doesn't matter which one you're doing, if you're doing the big one or if you're going to do the smaller one. You're going to start with 6 of these, okay? And then you've got your score lines on there all ready for you. So you're just going to fold your score line on the bottom. And then I find it easier just to fold the one on the top as well to start off with. So you just fold in those 2. Okay, so I'm going to pop this one now down like that. So that's facing the mat. And I'm going to do the same then with this one. And then when I've done this one, I'm going to glue this down. So I'm just going to pop a little bit of glue on here. So I am using my everyday glue, my Monday glue. I know, it's so good. We'll pop that on there. I think I've done well. Since we had the messages saying that everybody agreed with you that I needed to stick to my days, I think I've done okay. No, yeah, don't say that now, or you'll jinx me. Right, now all you're going to do is just keep doing exactly what I've just done. So you're just going to fold those 2 tabs and then glue. So fold, and like I said, the score lines are in there for you. So your score lines are in your die, so you don't need to, you know, grab a scoreboard or anything else. You're just going to fold them, pop that down, and then they're going to pop in there. Yeah, and I think if the mirrored, if maybe you are somebody who don't use that the mirrored vignettes that often, I think you will definitely use them for this, especially if you're not going to pop anything on the inside. Like you could put, if you've got like foiled acetate or coloured acetate or vellum, you could pop that in there, because on the die you do have the die that will just cut that mat out. So like these ones, the mat itself, so you could use these completely separately if you wanted to. So if you cut that mat out on its own, then you could cut out that panel of vellum or acetate or anything, foil card, mirror card, to sit on there, so you'd get that effect coming through that detail. But if you're going to leave it like this, like I am, so you've got those kind of like little windows to look through, then the mirrored vignettes really do come into their own. Now, like I said, if you're using this to make a 3D bauble that's going on the tree and you're going to glue everything, then you're not going to glue anything else past this point once we've stuck this in. But if you are going to glue it together, you can glue the top of the tab. So then, you know, if you are popping anything like this together where you want it to be completely glued together, then you can absolutely do that. For me, it depends what you're doing. So if you don't glue it, this is how it will fold out for you for postage. Do you know, like that? I feel like you could put, I've just had a bit of a, do you know what you could do? You're gonna have to bear with me because the colorways don't work. But if you use the smaller ones and you cut those off, you could almost make like your own 3D Christmas flower. Couldn't you? And you keep it like that. And yes, and Bunny's just said you could pop a smaller one. Didn't we see one like that? I feel like no, you've said it. I'm sure we did. So you could make the smaller one. Oh, we should have made the smaller one first. And then we could have stuck it in. So then you could pop that there. And then you'd have a smaller bauble inside the bigger bauble. Oh, but you could even get like little ornaments and things. Yeah, little characters. Oh, that's a nice idea. So this bit that you cut out, so you're going to cut this bit out. Again, your score line is in there, and you can see you just fold this back. So you've got that little bit. This is going to just sit in there like that. So that's just going to sit in the middle. And then this is going to be the bit that you're going to thread these through. So this, which one was my bottom one? That one. So this one, so I just like to go like that, just to give it a little bit of shape, and then that will feed through there, and then that is how your bauble starts coming together. Now, one thing I will say, I think there are lots of different ways that you can put this together, because the first time I made this, I didn't do it how it was meant to be. So one of the things I did, I'm going to go this way so you can see better. These tabs here, so these just slot like this when they come together. So you've got that lovely design there, and that holds them into place. Now, one of the things I did when I first made this was I actually went like this, and I actually glued those together. So those bottom bits were completely covered, and that was sticking in, and then that bit came up like that. So I think that there's lots of different ways that you can put this together depending on what you want to do with it, because like I said, if you are going to be sending these in the post and you don't want them to be glued down, then you're going to want to do it like this, so then it will pop back out like it just has now. So you're just going to pop those in like that, and then we're going to pop that through there, and then those will stay like that, so they just hold each other in place, and that starts our bauble. Now I'm going to be a bit stop-start with this, so I think I am going to glue the top. Let me grab a glue applicator and we'll start sticking this down. Right, let's start gluing this down. I wonder if I've seen some people's posts in our group that they've started making their Christmas crafts cards after last week. I feel like Christmas is always one of those things that you think, oh, I've got loads of time, it's ages away, I've got plenty of time, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, it's Christmas next week. Yeah, it always just creeps up on you, doesn't it? Morning, Karen. Karen's message saying good morning. Morning, Karen. Oh, and Sam has messaged as well saying that she's just ordered these and she thinks they will make wonderful gifts. I think these would make really nice gifts to because they're quite big as well, so you've got a nice amount of space. You could add things into there, or you could even roll up socks in there. Oh, Linda's message as well, saying good morning to me and Bunny, and she thinks these would be really good for selling at craft fairs. I think I'm right there with you. I think they would. They'd really stand out as well. Oh, and Audrey has messaged as well saying another smash hit from Carnation. Wow. Right, I'm just gluing that one. And then we've just got two more. Can you imagine if you left that like that and you didn't add those two on, and then you could pop maybe like some fake snow and a cat, like you've got this bit, so you could stick one of the mice or one of the characters or something onto that and almost like build a little scene within there. That would be cute, wouldn't it? Really cute. Right, this last one keeps moving. Right, let's pop some more glue on there and then pop those into place and then just feed that through there. And then one of the things I like to do is just give it a good squish with your tweezers. And then you know that's in place. And then last one. And just some glue on there. And then this one, we're going to pop that there, that there, and then feed that in there like that. So you've got your bauble. How pretty is that? That just screams to go in with like your foiling pen, or go on with one of your embossing pens and add some embossing powder onto it. Go in and add gems onto these. There's so many different ways you can do it. Now you can see the lovely, you've got the artwork coming through from those little windows because we've used the mirrored vignette. So you get that artwork coming through on every side. It would be a nice one to go with children. Well, and you know, the nice thing about that as well, because I've been there sometimes where I've tried doing things with like my little girl, and sometimes they can be a little bit too tricky for her, or sometimes like she does it and then it gets to a point where it's like, okay, I'll help you, we need hot glue for this, or I'll do this bit, or yeah, or I'll do something, and it's like, all right, okay, well you can do this bit and then I'll have to do this bit. Children could easily do that. You're only gluing the bottom bit, and then the top bit, it's up to you if you glue, because if you wanted to post them, you're not going to glue that so they open up. But these come together. I mean, how long did that take us? A few minutes? Easily do that. Now, the other thing that you've got in here as well is you've got little stoppers. So you've got these little panels that will fit on top of here. So I'm just going to feed, right, bear with 1 second. You just feed this bit through. And then, right, can you see how you just feed that through? So that will just sit on there. And then, now I have glued this, so I'm going to glue this one down. That. we'll just go on there like so. So now with that bit on there, that kind of acts as your stopper. So if you wanted to push that down, so maybe you wanted it more that shape, you could do that. Or I'm not going to be able to pull it back up now, am I? I was like, you can push it down more there. So you can have that in a slightly different shape as well. Right, so we've got that. Now I'm going to go fold this over into like a hoop, and then I'm going to glue that like that. So that's going to give us the hoop to put it on the tree. But before I do that, I am going to just put a little bit of glue on the top of here. And that lovely snowflake, which you get the vignette for that as well, I'm going to feed that through there and pop that there like that on the top, just to finish that off. And then just pop a little bit of glue on there. And then I'm just going to loop that around. Oh. Loop that around. Pop that on the end. And then just give that a little squeeze for that to grab. So you can see it is your real traditional Christmas colours, this one, isn't it? Let us know. Are you a traditional colour Christmas? Or are you a... Because there's always a colour, isn't there? Every Christmas there's always a new colour. I don't even know. Do you know what the colour this Christmas is? No, what colour this year's Christmas is going to be? Because it changes. Yeah, it changes every year. Every year there's a colour of Christmas. So Bunny always has traditional Christmas. So that would work with yours. Yeah, so Bunny has like traditional Christmas retro Christmas. So that would 100%. That would work. But you know what? That would work now on your tree, but that would work on mine as well, because everything for my Christmas is always cream and gold. So that would work with me as well. So you can really mix and match these in. So you can see that is how you pop your 3D bauble together. We are 30% of the stock of this has gone. It is item number 250614. You have got the QR code there as well, so you can scan that, or you can just type in 3D bauble die set on the website and that will come up for you. It is on a show price of $34.99. That is going to go back up at midnight tonight though, so if you do want to grab it at that show price, grab it while that is there, because that will go back up. Right, let's make one of the smaller ones. Shall we put the tiny lights in this one, or do the bigger one? Let's do it, because if you can't use tiny lights at Christmas, then when can you? Because I feel like tiny lights were made for Christmas time. Right, now I'm going to use the tiny lights that we've got on the website, so you can grab these on there. They are $14.99. You've got 2 sets in there, so you get 2 with 8 LEDs on, and you get 2 with 16. So this is the one with 8. I think the one with the 16 is a bit longer, isn't it? If I remember. And you also get the batteries as well in this. The product number for this is 2106 4. So if you want to type that in and add this into your order, because I feel like this is a must to add into this. I can't even open this there. Would that pop you over? I was going to say maybe if you add these in, it'll pop you over to get your free P&P. Oh, that's a good idea. So if you've got the 3D bauble and you've got the tiny lines and you've got our enamel dots, which I've got because I feel like these just fit absolutely. Oh, we could use the pink ones actually on here. So you could pop them where you've got these little gems in the artwork, pop those on there. You've got them in different sizes there as well, so you could pop these in. So how much are these? These $3.99. So if you've got these, the 3D baubles and the tiny lights, that would take you over, so you get your free, hang on, so those are $3.99. So you could either add them in or pay the $2.95 postage. So for a little bit more, you'd be getting these instead of paying for postage. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Right, so I'm just going to show you these. Oh, do you want the code for the enamel dots? 270319. 230719. Right, I'm just going to show you the different lengths. So you can see the smaller one, that one ends there. So the 16, I'm going to fold it back on itself, is double the length. So can you see? So that one's double. So you've got one with 8 LEDs on and one with 16. So this one is double the length. But you do get the batteries in there as well. So let's pop these batteries in, because I think we'll pop this in first, so I know where I am. The fact that the batteries are included in here is such a plus for me, because there is nothing that I do not like doing more than trying to find batteries. So there we go. So we've got our lights. Right, let me turn that off. Right, so let's start popping this together. So exactly the same, so it doesn't change on the bauble. So we're going to pop a little bit of glue on there and pop this on here. Oh, so Bunny's just told me we're now approaching 40% of the stock gone of this. Now we're going to fold this one and add this on there. And there's a sample that one of the design teams, oh, has any of the design teams told me where they've hidden their names? So there's a sample one of the design teams have made with this. It's actually on the tree, and I'm not going to pull it off because Bunny spent so long decorating the tree that I am not going to even dare to pull it off the tree. But so this is the one that we're making now, and the design team member that's made this has put gold card in the back to hide the panels, and then added a what are they called, tassel on the bottom. And as soon as I seen that, I mean, obviously if you ignore the pine cones and the cherries on the top, but as soon as I seen that, it made me think of a Chinese lantern. So you could use them for decorative things as well. You could can you imagine popping loads of them on fairy lights? So you've got a fairy light in there, just for even like dinner parties or barbecues. They would work for summer occasions as well. Right, so I am just doing the exact same thing now that I did in the larger one. So I'm adding in my different panels, just scoring those score lines and then just lining that up and adding them on. And then I've got my last one. Now this one you can score this. So what you can do is, I think that looks really pretty as well on a card. If you cut those top bits off, that would look really nice, just like that. And you could just literally just pop a sentiment there, couldn't you? You could have your 8x8 card, then you've got that there in the centre, sentiment, and card done. It's just like a Christmas star. So we're going to just pop the centre bit in. So again, exactly the same. You're just going to fold that so that will come out. So you've got them in the larger size and the small. I think you get 2 smaller sizes as well, don't you? So that is going to go, yeah, look. So you've got your larger one, medium and small to add in there. So this is going to pop on the centre like that. Let's just glue this in. Oh, so Pam has messaged in saying, oh, was it only Pam and Janine then? So Pam has messaged in saying that she's written her name on some of the bottom of the baubles, which I know because I found Pam's. Pam was the only one that I could find, and then she says that the ones with lights in are Janine's, but there are other ones here as well, unless maybe, I don't know. Right, so let's bottom one there. So we've got that, so we're ready now to start sticking this. Like, what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick maybe half of them together first, and then add, oh actually I need to pop these in, don't I? Right, I'm going to have to do this. Right, so if you are going to do the tiny lights, so what I was going to do is put the tiny lights in, so the tiny lights are going to come out of the top. So if you want to do that, then you're going to have to put them together kind of the other way round. So that was my bottom one, so I'm going to start there. So I'm going to pop this in, and I'm going to just pop a little bit in. Shall I still use that then? Not what I am now. Right, let's feed these through. I don't think I'll be able to put 2 of them. Oh yes I will. I didn't think they were going to fit, but they do. Right, so we'll pull these through there. And then pop some glue on the next one. And like I said, if you wouldn't, I don't think you'd put tiny lights in them if you weren't going to stick them together, would you? But if you wanted to send them in the post, you could absolutely, oh, I didn't feed it through that. Right, do you know what? I'm going to cut that off. We're not going to use the hooper because we've got our tiny lights there. So that'll be the string. So let's just pop that through there. Right, so we'll feed this through. And then stick that one on there. Like that. So then that is just going to stick there. Now you can have these kind of a bit more, you have got a score line for there, so if you want them to be a little bit more almost like boxy, then you can just fold those and they will hold that shape really pretty. Right, let's do the next one. So add glue on there. Somebody messaged in saying about craft fairs. Do you know, considering you're making a 3D bauble, I think this is probably one of the quickest ways of actually making a bauble. I put that on wrong. Because there's no fiddly bits. You're kind of just feeding that top bit through. You know, I've made baubles before where you individually make each panel, and like they can look pretty once they're done, but they take so long to make that, you know, it's not the type of thing that you'd make for a craft fair, because you'd need, you know, you have to have a good amount of them to sell. Whereas these can come together so easy. You could just spend the day batch making these, and you'd have a box full of these to take to a craft fair, which I just think would be really good. And you haven't got to worry as well about trying to colour them in, or trying to have, you know, so many pieces of cardstock in the same colour, because you're just going to print them out. So we've got that one. Feed this one in there. Come on. No. And then let's just pop a little bit of glue on there. So I've got 2 left to do now. So that is just going to sit there like that. And then that one, and the ball there. Some glue. Oh, that's a nice idea. Christine Bell's messaged in saying that the small bauble, which I'm going to say the one I'm using, but the smaller one again, would be good as a gift tag on a gift bag. That's a nice idea. Yeah. Right, so now this one we're going to pop in. So I'm going to bend that and pop this in. So I'm going to kind of roll this up as that goes through. And then tuck that in there. And then that is gonna go in there eventually. And then we'll glue this bit. And then I'm just going to use my tweezers for this. Pop that in there. And then I'll just use my tweezers to kind of grab that end bit. There, like that. So then you can just, and the lovely thing then with the tiny lights, because they're on wire, so you can move them and they'll hold their shape. So if you want to maneuver them around, you can absolutely do that. And then so you can have that hanging like that. And then, yeah. So I think that would make a really nice tag, actually, thinking about it. And you could add things onto it as well, couldn't you? So you could have you could even have some tinsel onto there. You can have ribbons, you can have things dangling. But you can see how pretty that looks like with the tiny lights added in. Really nice. They're really bright as well. And remember, yeah, I've just put these in. So obviously the battery is brand new, but we have got so many lights in the studio. That's why sometimes we say that you struggle to see the tiny lights because of how bright it is. But like obviously these ones now I've just used, they're brand new. But you've got absolutely no trouble seeing them, have you? So you can see how really bright. Yeah, you could have loads of them, couldn't you? Add them in. Right, so that is the smaller one. So that's one of the smaller shapes that you've got in the 3D bauble that you can see there. So you've got your different sizes in there. We are almost at 40% of the stock. Oh, we're nearly at 50% of the stock of this has gone. It is item number 250641. You can type in 3D Bauble on the website, or you can scan that QR code there for you. It is on a show price that will go back up at midnight tonight. So if you want to grab this before that price goes back up, then now would be the time to do that. I am going to show you the boards so you can see what these look like, and you can see the different panels that you get in here as well, because one of the things that I was saying was I would absolutely do is snip into these as well. So even though you've got your different designs, so you've got your larger ones which make these, I would absolutely snip these corner bits off that hold the bauble in place. Take them bits off, and then if you imagine your card, so say this is our DL card, you pop that on. Let me just, do you know what, we're not making a gold one, okay? Snip that off. Snip that. Snip that. Pop that. So you got your mats and layers. You're going to pop that there. Pop a bow on there, and then just pop your sentiment there, and it just looks like a beautiful bauble that you'd have as a decorative element onto your card, which would look amazing. You've also got the mat to go behind as well, so you could even cut an aperture into the card, and then so you've got that window behind there as well, which would look even more dramatic and really, really pretty. So, and you can do that with all of them as well. This is the one that we just used. I love the fact that you've got multiples as well. So if you're making this bauble, you can cut them out. You can cut two out in a row, so you don't have to sit there cutting out the same one over and over and over again. You've also got the snowflake in there that we showed you at the start, which makes a lovely topper to the top of your bauble. You can see there, you even get the vignettes for them as well. Equally, you will use the snowflake completely on its own on your different cards and projects. Yeah, silver mirror card, your foiled mirror card, cut those out and you've got them there. Even just cut them out in white, pop them onto white and give yourself that faux emboss effect in a background of a card. Is going to look amazing. You've got the centerpieces there for your baubles. Oh, you could. Bunny's just said you could hang it off the bottom of your bauble. That's a good idea. Oh, she's getting into the Christmas spirit now. She's getting there. And I'm just going to show you these as well quick before I show you some more of the design team samples. Bunny brought these in just so we could see how these look. So if you were thinking of doing them in your cardstock as well, but it just gives you an idea of the three different designs. So you've got your small, your medium, and your... I really think that you would use these as Fabergé eggs. I can just see them as Fabergé eggs, you know, in different cardstock. But and these ones as well, I think you'd use them for parties. I just think they look so adorable. Oh, Halloween baubles. Oh, you could actually, because if you did it in like black and white, that kind of gives you like cobweb vibes. If it was in black and white or like black and orange or something, I wouldn't not think that it was meant for Halloween in those colours. So you can really mix and match these up. but you can see how they come together. They're really sturdy as well. Like these ones you can see in the cardstock with the vignette added on, they are really sturdy. So if you want to glue them together and have them as, you know, ornaments that you are going to keep and bring out year after year, they are going to support themselves. They're not going to get damaged. Oh, play settings. That's a nice idea. This is the one that made me think of an egg, Fabergé egg. I think it's just because it's in with all the white and cream. I don't know. I think it looks so pretty, so delicate. You know, think of gems as well. You could add in the top on that snowflake there as well. But even like that, where you pop them onto a card, they look so pretty. Or even then, if we bring in this one, where you've got the gems there, and this one has been done the same way that we just showed you. So you've got your string from your tiny lights. Did the tiny lights on this? Oh, maybe it's gone. So you can see there how that one. Now this one has got vellum in the back, so you could either have it like that, or you could have it like that, where you can see through the those little windows, and you've got that lovely artwork there on the inside as well. You know, I also think, you know, don't take for granted how many different colorways that you get this in, because you've got them there in so many different colorways, completely changes the look. I mean, look at that one. That's almost just using the skeleton of the actual bauble and then using that snowflake in the center. How stunning does that look? So pretty. And again in the medium one. I keep trying to look for names. I know, they look so different, don't they? So different. And then like from that one, using the same artwork to that. But because this one, they've cut out those panels and popped them onto white, whereas this one, they've used the vignettes for the actual bauble. Look how different they look. But that's using the same artwork for them too, but yet it looks so different. And even think about adding the baubles together as well. So that's one of the larger ones with the small, or adding the small and the medium one together. I love that. I think that looks so pretty. So you could even mix and match these up as well, and they look so different as well. With cardstock there, like the one we just did, you know, we just used the vignette, but look how that's the same one, but how different that looks, going from red to this one that's done in that white with the craft card. It looks completely different. Yet the crust that was from Wondrous Tidings last week, so if you've got that one, that's a good one to bring in with this. Look at that one. Bringing in those gems, bringing in your ribbon and your gems there. Looks so pretty, doesn't it? And then this one, using white and gold, so bringing in your vignettes. So these are from Wondrous Tidings last week, but then look at these, just using mirror card and your white cardstock. How pretty does that look? And you really see all the dye detail there, don't you, in the cardstock. And then I go one more. Look at that. With, do you know, they've cut the poinsettia to pop the poinsettia on the top, which is a nice idea as well. So instead of using the actual snowflake, using the poinsettia there instead. Oh, yes. One second. And just last one. Think of those frames that you'll have at home already that you could pop these into like that. Doesn't that look amazing? I think that is what I can see. Can you imagine doing something so like this? Christmas looks absolutely amazing, but do exactly the same things with your like set in spring, and then having that there like an Easter egg. And you can have like your bunny sat here. So instead of having the berries there as the stopper, have like one of your Easter bunnies here, have an Easter eggs here, and then you've got that there like that. And then you could even fill that with chocolate eggs. Oh, do you know what? Every time we do a collection, I'm like, oh, this would be good for Christmas, Christmas. And now we're doing Christmas eggs. I'm like, Easter. But it just goes to show, doesn't it, how versatile the 3D Bauble die set is. It is item number 250614. You can type that number in on our website and it'll take you straight to the item. You can type in 3D Bauble die set, or you can scan the QR code that you can see there. It is on a show price for you of $34.99, which does go back up at midnight tonight. We're almost at 50% of the stock of this has gone. We're coming to the end of our first show. We do have another show with this at 2, but obviously we've lost 50% of the stock in the first show. So if you do want to grab this, jump in while that stock is still there at that show price and grab it before that stock goes. That does bring us to the end of our show. We are going to be back at 12 with a Crafters Select Christmas show. So we have lots of different Christmas Crafters Select on that show. So hopefully you can go and grab a cuppa and come back and join us at 12. And then we will be back at 2 with our 3D Baubles again. So hopefully I shall see you in a little bit.